Hey guys, Bowie here, and this is things I learned with Matumbaman's Faceless Void in 7.12. As the lane creeps arrive thanks to Matumba putting the range creep in front, he can harass Tiny with the chilling touch afterwards.
No chains can hold me, neither can they hold you.
Without missing one single asset, so that's pretty good. Thanks to AA having almost 700 attack range, D.Bowie starts attacking one of the range creeps to stop the wave to push too hard since Matumba was harassing for a long time. Unfortunately though, D.Bowie's big Korean heart ends up being his demise since Bounty Hunter shows up bottom.
There is no justice in this world.
Usually in competitive matches, you see people going for Mask of Madness on Void. Battlefield is a slow build-up and it doesn't give you the crispiest solo kill potential on Chrono, making the hero feel pretty useless in those early stages. In this game though, not only his offlaner is a bulky Stone Man, Dire has a lot of saves for Chrono. Nightmare, Infeeble, Astro, and How are some of those, and Matumba felt like going Madness was not ideal. Not only that, Dire has a lot of burst damage with Avalanche Toss, meaning that if Tiny finds him with Mask of Madness on, it's unlikely that he'll be able to time walk since he'll be dead in no time. Considering his build to this point, I'm a big fan of going Gloves of Haste instead of Boots, especially when you get 3 points of Bash. It increases the chances that you can get solo kills when you get your Chrono, especially if you get level 6 before you can actually finish your threads. Eventually, Nyx rotates bottom, and even though Tiny went for a pretty good toss, they get the kill. Note how Matumba doesn't use Chrono immediately. He goes for the time walk into one attack first, and only that ults, giving him the kill. With Chrono being used though, Dire starts playing very aggressively, while OD shows bottom to hold any structural damage that Matumba wanted to cause after that kill. It's pretty hard for Matumba to farm now. He's pretty dumb after some OD hits, and while he has time dilation, OD is not level 6 yet, so he saves it for after Astro is committed, or else he won't slow him for shit. Unfortunately, OD Astros him, so this kill only affects Bounty Hunter, but it's enough for a kill. A lot of Faceless Voids ignore this kill until they max Time Walk and Bash, and in a lot of cases their kill potential is severely diminished. This kill allows you to fight without Chrono, and that's pretty useful at the early stages when Chrono has huge cooldown. When Dire starts pressuring top and his Chrono is up, he TPs top even though there's no imminent fight. Defending towers against a Lycan is pretty important, especially if you have kill potential when you go for it. Not only that, he has Vision of Bane and other supports coming to defend that lane, and it's not safe to be there. He ends up taking 2 on top, while he sees most of the Dire heroes taking his safe lane tower or standing mid, and he also knows that Finn's grip is on cooldown and doesn't fear anything besides that. Matumbaman ends up rotating to help his team get kills, and the obvious play after that is going mid. It's very low HP and Tiny is dead. Glyph gets forced, and as Tiny is about to respawn, Matumbaman is sending his Shadow Blade, so he feels confident in going for this play. He time dilates Ban, and in fear of getting stopped, Chrono's Bane. Keep watching though. Note how he doesn't commit instantly. He waits until the time walk is ready and they secure one more. He also makes sure to walk towards his courier before doing anything crazy, and while OD Astros Lycan, since he has Shadow Blade, he tries to go for a kill. He got some bashes, but not enough to get a kill, so he just lives. But this was a convincing fight regardless, and it shows that Faceless Void is not only a Chronosphere, especially if you don't go for Mask of Madness. When you go for the item, it can be pretty risky for you to fight, especially if you still have some duration on. But I digress. In my mind, a lot of people feel like if you go Shadow Blade before Battle Fury, you can't go back for the item. Shadow Blade gives you freedom to fight, gives you kill potential, but like, do you want to go BKB after Shadow Blade? I'm not sure BKB is the best item here, and what else could you go? Finn's grip still hurts, Lycan's physical damage is still there, Radiant also lacks AoE damage to clear the wolves and the summons, so the Shadow Blade purchase allows him to deal with the early timings from Lycan and Tiny, but doesn't put him in a helpless position like Mask of Madness sometimes does. After getting that beautiful kill, Matumba keeps pushing since he sees a lot of Dire heroes bottom, and in a game like this with so many saves, you never want to be the one initiating. So not only he is pushing with a catapult wave dealing severe damage to a tier 2, he has the perfect opportunity to act when Dire overextends bottom. Dire gives up at the end, so not only he saves a TP that may not yield him any kills, well, he also dealt a lot of damage to this tower. more. He's also super close to level 12, so getting that before a fight is pretty important. He gets it that Dire goes for a crazy dive into their jungle with OD showing me. You can see the years of experience that Matuma has. His time walk is in perfect position to leech experience while he bad manners at the same time. Another thing to note is that after completing the Void Stone, Matumbaman is constantly thread switching and time walking, because with that extra mana regen, he can do it for free pretty much. The strength of time dilation keeps showing on every fight. Bounty Hunter was here, and with the dust being cast, Matumbaman can use it. Note though that he waits track to be used, which slows Bounty Hunter even more, and that's one extra kill that he gets without committing chrono at all. At this point, I'm pretty sure someone is commenting on the video saying, Bowie, what about Maelstrom? It allows you to farm like Battle Fury, it costs the same as Shadow Blade and it deals more damage. Oh yes, the Maelstrom Boot. So first of all, consider this Void here. They have the same items Matumba has, and the only difference will be Shadow Blade or Maelstrom. The DPS on the Maelstrom build is indeed better, but for a small margin, less than 10%. So you can deal, let's say, 8% more damage, or you can have an initiating item that really increases your possibilities in fights and engagements. It gives you more move speed, or you can have 8% more damage. As a farming item, Battle Fury is way better than Maelstrom, not only because of the mana regen aspect of it that makes you free to chrono and time walk away at all times without ever going back to base or buying clarities, but also because if you go for Maelstrom and Shadow Blade, you have severe mana issues, especially against an OD. Another thing I need to mention is TP priority. There's no high MMR player that will prioritize a wand, a Quelling Blade over a TP at this stage of the game. Having TPs ready, especially as a Faceless Void, is detrimental. So he backpacks the Quelling Blade here, especially because he's about to complete the Battle Fury anyways. And I can see a lot of players facing a situation like this. You're 100 gold away from a big item, enemies doing Roche, your team dies before you can be there. Even though you have Chrono, you have Shadow Blade, there's no way the Dire has no sentries there. And when you talked about their saving potential, the best thing Matumbaman can do now is get as much structural damage as possible before Roshan falls. Another benefit of Battle Fury over Maelstrom is Ancient farming. Not only Maelstrom sucks against Ancients, it gives you no HP regen, which means that after farming, you're gonna be like 80% HP, and if you farm another one, suddenly you die to a support rotation or something. Here, Matumbaman can farm them faster while taking less damage and also time walk the creep waves without worrying about his mana being down for the next fight. His next is looking for someone, and notice how Void doesn't out here. Without vision of both Bane and OD at the same time, going for a chrono is an insanely risky business. OD was stunned by a decent duration, but this fight is clearly not worth his time, especially with Dire having Aegis. That being said, he makes sure to push the wave as fast as possible so that Dire cannot go for objectives. Another benefit of Battle Fury is how reliable and constant your damage is over Maelstrom. You have to stay less time showing in lane to clear it, which means you farm faster, but in a game like this means also less chance of being ganked, tracked, and astroed because you're showing for less time. Your damage scales, so as the game goes on, the cleave will kill creeps even faster, while Maelstrom and Mjolnir have a static damage on their procs. Watch this other clip. Tiny jumps in like a crazy man and OD's around, which means he could maybe get a 2-man chrono. But where's the rest of them? Specifically, where's Bane? Who knows? Matumba holds the chrono, that's until he sees the Lycan pretty far away and no Bounty Hunter track yet. Note that while OD can save Tiny, he can go for the OD now. Unfortunately though, his first instinct was the right one. The Earth Spirit kicks the Tiny instead of OD and all their damage gets split up between those tanky cores. At this stage, committing super hard is hopeless, so note how he slowly wears the Necro Warrior off and time walks the damage instantly to at least reduce the pushing power from Dire. He buys some time, but that was not the fight that they wanted, that's for sure. The fight keeps evolving, his team is alive once more, they take the Aegis down, and note how Matumba plays here. He has no chrono and has time dilation. This is one key spell that is the difference maker between Dire retreating all alive or them getting a couple of kills. OD has only one active since his ult is down, so he holds onto it and again goes for the Necro Warrior time walk play since he's the best hero to deal with that unit. After that, he pops the time dilation since Dire is now thirsty for kills and they're able to at least hold while buying time for Chrono. The real problem though is that Matumbaman is as smart as a Crystal Maiden at this point, and while he gets Chrono off, Dire's push is way too strong. Note how killing the Necro Warrior is the thing that allowed him to engage in the first place, since he lasts for so long now, and also note that he attacks in only Dan Chronos. He goes for the most obnoxious hero, but he was lacking some damage. The thing though is that OD has to disengage, and that gives them the chance to kill Lycan, the pusher for Dire. Dire obviously wants to get more than that, but since they lack push, they have to get kills before committing for it, and they get repelled eventually. OD falls to AA, the Shadow Blade allows Matu to get Bane, and Time Dilation holds Bounty Hunter in place for another takedown. At this point, this is a 15k gold lead, so how is Radiant able to get back into this game? It gets even worse. As Matumbaman pushes the mid lane, his Nyx was there, so he fake backs with Shadow Blade and tries to engage on Tiny. But thanks to OD being there, it gets completely nullified once more. Part of the answer is crispy time dilation usage. Dire starts going mid, OD gets a lot of intelligence, Tiny tosses Nyx away. And look how Void plays this, he doesn't commit time dilation. Eventually though, Nightmare gets used, Avalanche gets used, Astro is committed, and finally Tiny goes in with Toss to save Bounty Hunt. In this moment, Tiny has 2 skills on cooldown, and Matumba goes in with time dilation. On top of that, the Lotus Orb was used to try and save Bounty Hunter, making it impossible for Dire to dispel the skill onto the core. OD saves Tiny for a little bit, but Bounty Hunter dies, Tiny perishes, and even OD is casualty of war. That allows him to get a tier 2 and force Glyph. Not only that, he finishes his Skadi, Dire commits Shape Chip while they have vision of them, and note what happens. Dire has way too many saves. At the same time, Radiant lacks damage, so Matumba felt forced to get Skadi instead of BKB. When he Chronos here, he gets instantly used, but he doesn't time walk away instantly. He knows Bane is down, so Dire has no real lockdown. He attacks Lycan a little bit, and only after BKB he time walks towards a cliff. And keep watching, he also didn't commit time dilation.
It turned out to be more of a jazz party.
When he leaves the Astro, he gets a beautiful time dilation off. Shapeshift is down, and they end up prevailing. Notice that Bane was dead, and holding his ground even after what seemed like a terrible Chronosphere is what forced BKB in the first place and made Dire want to keep fighting. With that win, and this Catapult wave, he instantly marches towards a creep wave, even though his team is chasing an important target like Tiny. Pushing a creep wave as soon as a big kill happens is something that a lot of low and mid-range MMR players forget to do since they too no vision on kills. His team was enough to get the kill, so he focuses in bringing the creeps towards the tier 3. This can be the difference maker between forcing buybacks or not, getting barracks or not, winning the game or not. In fact, Dire has no buyback on both Lycan and OD because they probably felt like they were super ahead and they just bought all their items. Tiny is forced to buy back, and the fact that Battle Fury is way better at pushing buildings than Maelstrom also pays off. They force Fiend's Grip, they get the melee barracks since Dire kept chasing Matu, and while he's forced to commit Chrono to survive, he lives in the end. This is also a pretty decent way to show that the time walk talent is superior than the attack speed one a lot of the times. As he disengages, notice how he backpacks the one instantly to get the TP, and he doesn't panic TP to the fountain. He TPs to the bottom shrine to address that lane being pushed. After all, with Battle Fury, you'll never run out of mana and HP. After that, it's pretty clear that Dire will Roche, so Matumbaman just forces the lane a little bit and joins the fray. He has no Chrono, so addressing the fight even without it is what differentiates Matumbaman from a lower tier player. First of all, he joins the fight Shadow Bladed, forcing Lycan's BKB straight up. He doesn't want to get the kill though, he just wants to repel Dire from Roshan, so notice how he goes for the Necro Warrior instantly. He did this every single time. He kills it and time walks defensively. OD ends up joining the fight super weirdly, only after Dire commits some spells he goes in with time dilation, and this is Roshan and eventually game for the Radiant team. Just to wrap things up and make my point between Maelstrom and Shadow Blade, notice how Matu can engage on Lycan here, since he's worried about pushing lanes. Without Shadow Blade, what would happen is that Matu would have to use time walk instantly, and this can be dangerous. He could pop his ult, he could BKB, I don't know, if Dire has counter initiation. Because of the Shadow Blade, he gets 2 to 3 hits before Lycan can react, and as he reacts, he Chronos and gets the kill regardless. Lycan had no time to farm, so it's expected that he has no buyback. Matu's crispy plays do not end here. He buys the quarterstaff in base, makes sure to have TPs on himself, buys the Eagle Song to push faster, while he sends the courier to the secret shop first to finish his butterfly as the push happens. And this is it, boys. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure to have you here. As always, this video is sponsored by Pvgna. They have a huge library of videos that will clearly help you get better in Dota if you try hard enough. Every single tutorial is updated to the new version of the patch. If you want to know what's happening in my life, follow me on Twitter. Want to watch some crispy casts or me playing, I don't know, Nature's Prophet or Meteor Hammer Arc Warden, follow me on Twitch. If you want to get a spoiler of the next video, follow me on Instagram. I always post some pictures telling what's going on. If you want to talk with people that care about Dota and also care about, you know, Crispy Boy Bowie, join our Discord channel. And that's it, guys. Bye.